We're live.
We're live. You are listening to 90.7 WJHD FM Radio live from Portsmouth, Rhode Island. This is PGSports Talk. Of course, John Perrick alongside Gavin Givens here, and we are done right now with baseball. We're going to shift our gears over to the hockey world. All right, the Boston Bruins, they're up 3-1 over the Toronto Maple Leafs. The question is tonight the night in which they seal the deal and move on to the next round?
John, when was the last time we saw a Bruins team like this? Did you read Brad Marchand's?
2013?
2013, 2011. You knew what happened in 2011.
Oh.
I'm not going to say it. I'm not. Yeah, I'm just going to say the goal. But did you read Brad Marchand's Players Tribune piece?
I did not know.
Believe it or not, it was actually very well written. It was coming from a hockey. I was a hockey player as a kid. Hopefully, getting back into that next year. But he talked about the team, mentioned the 2011 team, and how every single guy was willing to give what it took to win. And we've seen this with this team so far. I mean, great team. We saw. I don't know if you watched the. There was a Hurricanes-Bruins game. Late February, maybe. Nah, it was probably March. But I think we were down 3 goals with 10 minutes left in the game. Came back, won. And remember when we saw that last? Do you remember? Against Toronto in the playoffs.
Toronto in the 2013 playoffs. Yeah. And of course, without that win, Bruins go home. Without that win, the Bruins don't make it to the Cup. Although they didn't. Truly unbelievable. They were down 3-1, I believe, going into that game.
I think it was 3-1.
Backs against the wall.
Yep. And we were the favorite in that series. We had the home. I remember we played at home, so that means we were the home.
Yep.
We were the higher seed.
Mm-hmm. And it was one of the more memorable Game 5s in Boston Bruins history.
And I was watching. I don't know what channel you watch playoffs on. I think we both discussed NBC Sports, right?
NBC Sports Network, better graphics.
Yeah, I was watching on NBC Sports, and I don't know the guys too much who call hockey, but the guy who called it said, I don't know, ESPN actually, they were discussing playoffs, and they said, Tony Kornheiser, do you know who that is?
Yes.
He said that home ice advantage in hockey is the least, it gives you the least edge, if that makes sense.
If there's a sport, I would say hockey has the most edge.
By far. So, we're playing home tonight, 8 o'clock, big game. Knock on wood, I don't see us losing this game. We played so well at home before, and we have Bergeron coming back as well. I don't know if you realize that. We played last game without Bergeron. I mean, with that rowdy Boston crowd, just hungry for a cup. I don't know about you, but I don't think I see us losing any game. I don't really have score prediction because we won by 4 goals the first 2 games, lost by 2, and then won by 2. It was 2. I think it was 3-1 was the final score, maybe.
Yep.
So, I'm not going to make a score prediction. I just don't see us losing this game.
And again, the stat of the day. David Pastrnak. He, right now, has the most playoff scoring points with 11. Pastrnak, in Game 2, had 3 points and 3 assists. And thus he became the youngest player in NHL history to get 6 or more points in a playoff game.
I mean, see, John, we've been seeing this all year with Pastrnak as Bruins fans, but good for this guy now. He's doing it on the national stage. Everyone knows who he is now, which is good. Boston fans know that he could do that. He did that during the year. He didn't get 6 points. That's insane. But we saw throughout the whole year, Pastrnak was a special player, very young. Our first line, I think. What do we have? I don't know how many. I think we have 80 goals combined. Just our first line.
It's remarkable what their offense has been able to do.
And their defense.
Just overall. Game 1 and 2? Are you kidding me? The scores that the Bruins have been putting up, it's like baseball scores. Yeah. You don't see this in playoff hockey. Playoffs! Against a
original 6 rivalry.
7 goals in Game 2? 7! It's obscene.
It is.
But that's this Boston Bruins team.
Yep.
people were saying going into the series, oh, the Maple Leafs, they beat the Bruins in 3 out of the 4 games.
Oh, the Bruins are too young. They don't have enough veteran leadership.
Rask isn't going to come
He's
through.
not good. Cassie's not a good coach.
Well, you know what? So far, it's not over yet, but so far in this series, they have proved the critics wrong.
And I don't know what we just mentioned. They obviously said before the series, but John, they said that before the season. You know Felger and Maz.
They love to go at it.
Did you? I don't know. Can you? No, I mean I don't know if we can pull it up now, but there's this clip of him. It was a Bruins hype video for the playoffs, and it was just an audio clip of Felger in the background talking about how inexperienced the Bruins are, how he thinks these guys are not good enough to win. He said he doesn't think they're making the playoffs. He said, and I quote, "Our season is over." That was. I don't know how long ago that was. That was obviously in the beginning of the year, but I mean.
Well, news flash. They're the number 2 seed right now.
Yep.
They're about to move on to the second round.
4th best team in the league, points wise.
Very well could be the 1 seed.
They were 1 game away.
And yet, as Felger said, they're not good enough to make the playoffs. Well, reality, I think, has to have kicked in for Felger.
I don't think any team right now wants to play the Bruins. I
don't see why you would.
Yeah.
Bruins, who wants to take on a team who will score 7 playoff goals against you?
Who wants to go against that line 1? I mean, geez, John. Pasternak, Marchand, and Bergeron? Can you name a better line in the NHL?
Can't. And
I could probably name a better lineup, but that line 1 of forwards is just crazy.
But especially right now, how they're performing in the playoffs.
Right now.
It's the performance in the playoffs, as we saw in Game 1, 2, and 4. Game 3, there was an exception, but still, again, I keep on using this word. I used it for the Red Sox, use it again for the Bruins. This is all obscene.
Mm-hmm.
It's beyond comprehension. And
you continue, yeah.
And here we are, watching it unfold in our very eyes.
Yeah. And I allow for that Game 3 loss. Coming into Toronto.
Multiple comebacks.
Yes, but I mean, first game in Toronto, at their stadium, with that rambunctious crowd. They hate the Bruins. They want nothing more but to have the Bruins lose. And they played well. I thought there was 10 minutes left, and I'm pretty sure it was tied 2-2. Or I think we were down 3-2, but I mean, we were this close to winning. Did you remember the game? Remember how many 6 saves the goalie had?
Yeah,
Pasternak got robbed 3 times. He hit the crossbar, and the goalie had 2 stick saves where he just put a stick out there and paddled it away. I mean, we're outplaying the Maple Leafs this whole series.
I must agree. Twice in the second period, the Leafs found themselves up. Originally it was 1-0, then it was 2-1. But each time, the Bruins, they kept on coming back, tying the game up. They were not able to execute in the third period, but that does
They got super close. I could call it luck for the Maple Leafs.
The Bruins have showed true toughness in these first 4 games. And the question is, will this translate into the next few rounds?
Or this next game, tonight.
Exactly.
All that stuff's in the past. And hockey, if any sport was the sport to say, all right, that's in the past, let's continue, it's hockey. Anything can happen. Basketball, team goes up 3-0. 3-1, they're going to win the series. But hockey, we've seen it so many times where a team goes up 3-1 and they lose. The Penguins may be doing it right now. They were up 3-1 on the Flyers. They just lost yesterday, 4-2. So, you can't get ahead of ourselves, but that's why you got to close up tonight.
If I'm the Bruins, I want to close out tonight. I don't want
none of you need to. You cannot go back into Toronto in Game 6 and say, imagine losing that, saying, shoot, we were just up 3-1.
And now we're going back to Boston for Game 7.
And they came off 2 wins as well, the Maple Leafs.
Don't get me wrong, I think we would win that Game 7.
I think we'd win tonight, but
it's bad. First of all, it's bad for your team morale.
And the fans are going to be scared. It's going to be a very nerve-wracking game.
You're not going to have that confident team, which we've seen in the first 4 games of the series.
And they still are confident. Don't get me wrong. I don't know about you, but that's why you just got to close it tonight. Have a couple, 1-2 days rest, and then hit the ice again for practice.
Exactly. And you want that rest.
You need that rest, yeah.
And so that's why it is it's vital to close out tonight.
It is. That's a big thing. That's why every team in the NFL wants those buys. They need that. They need the rest. That's the same with hockey. But I mean, I'm looking forward to a good game tonight.
It should be a good one, of course. The Celtics as well. They had a tough loss last night. That series is Celtics still leading that series 2-1. But the Celtics, of course, they're full of injuries right now.
Giannis got the best of us.
All the hype for the Celtics, it's gone. It left beginning of the season when Gordon Hayward went out.
Kyrie played well, and then he came back, and then he got hurt.
He's hurt. Without Kyrie and Gordon,
Smart's hurt. I don't know if he
they're
might be back,
too
actually.
hurt.
He might be back.
They're too injured. They're too battled.
Jaylen Brown had a scary fall.
Jaylen Brown right now, he's
playing very well.
He's got to carry the team.
He's been good. He has been.
He is the back end.
As yesterday, he didn't carry the team and they lost. So,
but again, can he carry them all the way through the playoffs?
See, that's the thing. Would you almost want to lose this first round to get a better draft pick? Because the odds of us winning a championship are really low.
Well, the draft pick doesn't really matter for the Bruins right now because next year they're going to be healthy and they are going to be better than they were last year with Gordon Hayward.
Tatum, Brown, progressing.
They're an outstanding team. It's just they got to be healthy, and that's the key here. And they're not right now. Yes, they could get past the Bucks in this first round. Mm-hmm. They're at a good pace.
But the Sixers are probably a better team than us right now. The Pacers might beat us.
There's a lot
Cavs.
There's a lot of bumps in this road.
The Raptors will probably blow us out.
So, with the Bruins right now, of course, they got the pieces. They are they're not completely healthy, of course. Never in hockey are you going to find a team healthy. But they're
healthy enough.
They've got enough pieces to get maybe to the cup.
I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but yeah. And I don't know if
there's more potential is what I'm saying.
Yes, exactly.
I'm not saying that's the outcome.
You've heard of rookie Ryan Donato.
Yes.
He's not even playing right now. He's a healthy scratch. Mm-hmm. So, knowing that you have that insurance policy, you scored, I think, 4 goals, 5 assists, 5 goals, 4 assists, something like that, in 12 games, as a rookie, still going to school at Harvard.
You say that there's the insurance policy.
Yep.
And that's what you want. That's what every good playoff team has.
Yep.
That plan B that is almost as good as your plan A. If you've got that, or better.
Yep.
If you've got that, then you will succeed in professional sports. Mm-hmm. And especially in the playoffs, the NHL hockey playoffs, arguably one of the hardest atmospheres to perform in, arguably the hardest playoff bracket to succeed in, and yet
it's
they've got
right behind March Madness, in my opinion.
March Madness, that's going to take it, but
but this one's right behind there. Anything can happen.
And I'm primarily talking like major league bracket here, not college.
Okay. Yeah.
And so they still got the plan B. And if you got a plan B, then your plan A is going to succeed. And that's what we're seeing in Bruins. They can afford they were able to afford the Bergeron injury.
Well, we don't. We can afford it, but we just.
It's not great.
No.
But it's gonna be a heck of a ride, and of course the big key for the Boston Bruins is to close it out tonight. If they can close it out tonight, Gavin, I think Boston very well with the rest they can go quite deep in the playoffs.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. Obviously we need to close it out tonight, but the Lightning are playing the Devils right now, and we play the winner of that round. So we just need the Devils to force that to like game 6, game 7, give us an extra couple days of rest. So I mean, it's looking playoff, and not only just the Bruins side, but the West. Vegas is looking really good too. The Kings played well. The Golden Knights just played way better. I mean, Jonathan Quick had an outstanding playoff. He might have had one of the greatest he's ever had. They still lost. But anything can happen in the NHL. Obviously, we've seen that before with the Bruins against the Maple Leafs a couple years ago. But there's just so much competition right now. It's just you got to worry about the game at hand. That's why tonight's game is very important.
Well, you heard it from us here first. You got to worry about the game at hand, and well, we're going to find out how that one goes tonight. 8 o'clock p.m., Bruins Leafs from the Garden. Red Sox play on the West Coast at 9 o'clock against the Oakland A's from O.Co Coliseum. That is at 9 o'clock again. Both games will be on NESN. Red Sox games will be on NESN+. Bruins will be on NESN as well as NBC Sports Network. But from all of us here at PG Sports, I'm John Parrott, alongside
Gavin Gibbons.
And of course, we'll be back on air next week to talk more playoff hockey, more playoff basketball, and more about the top team in MLB, the Boston Red Sox.
And the draft. Drafts next week.
NFL drafts next week. It's going to be a great week for sports.
It is.
But, again, I say good afternoon. This is 90.7 WJHD FM radio, live from Portsmouth, Rhode Island. Thank you for listening to PG Sports Talk.
Great show.
Great show.
You check the radio, make sure that there's something playing.
Stream.